How's it going, folks? This is Aviel Leos from the Children's Court, coming to you live from Mission Control Studios, and I wanted to do an update on the R. Kelly situation. So, a couple of days have gone by, and that R. Kelly, Surviving R. Kelly TV show is totally discredited now. I mean, we have a case where it's not alleged, it's actually true, that the daughter of one of the women is on videotape exposing her mother, totally exposing her mother, exposing the fact that her mother was not trapped at R. Kelly's house, not forced to be there. And all actuality, she was coming home with designer clothes, bags, thousands of dollars, and she wanted to be there at her own at her own will, and would leave her kids at home for days at a time, only calling to check on the youngest ones every few days. So, totally discredited. All of the tears, all of the stories, all of the survival that happened with this one in particular was totally fabricated. And a lot of people, not necessarily those of you watching this video right now, but a lot of people were uh, were inflamed by that, jumped on the mute R. Kelly bandwagon, uh, just with no desire to research or prove any of the stories that were being put out against him. We have another one of the survivors that is caught on video camera at a recent R. Kelly concert having a blast. Having a blast, dancing and just enjoying the R. Kelly show. Close to the stage, probably with somebody that was still moderately friendly with R. Kelly, if not still going to some of the weekend orgies uh, to this day. So another one of them, another one of these survivors that is exposed, absolutely exposed to be absolute liars, and at very least fabricating their stories of their dealings with R. Kelly largely. Moving right along, we have R. Kelly's wife, uh, who's who was sitting on the show. Apparently, never actually watched it because I believed it was bullshit from the very beginning, uh, and very conveniently coming out to be a distraction from all the more serious things that are happening on the earth today. But his wife is apparently also recorded at one of his recent parties that he had at his property, just dancing and having a great old time. I mean, when did the Stockholm when 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 did they break free of the Stockholm? Was it just recently that all of these girls just stopped having a blast and just suddenly realized it was just an awful situation that they were in? It just makes no sense to me that all of these women are enjoying R. Kelly's company uh, so much on video, and then they can get on on the show and just and everything's just terrible, and they're crying and they can't believe the torture that they went through with this awful sex criminal. Uh, the whole thing falls apart. The whole story, the whole TV series, all the allegations, just a few of them cracking so badly, discredit all of them. And I know some people still want to give every person the benefit of the doubt that we haven't proved as a fraud, but to me, this is exactly what I thought it was going to be. I mean, initially I thought it was going to take R. Kelly being imprisoned and, at least a decade to go by for us to find out that all of these women were lying, like most rape cases where the women just say, I lied, and, the man gets out of prison, they give him a couple 100,000, no no harm done, no foul. Uh, but this is cracking so fast because of the social media era that we're living in, and you can't hide the truth today. So what happened is all of these women were exposed as they should have been, and now it's making R. Kelly look even better in in the light of all of these things happening. It's making him look even more innocent, more like a victim, and exonerating him largely on all of this curricular sexual criminal activity that they're trying to pile up on him, to the point where the district attorney in Chicago, a black woman of course, is uh, calling out for anybody that can incriminate R. Kelly to come forward. Like, if R. Kelly's raped you, please uh, come forward and tell us the story so we can prosecute him. So this is more about destroying R. Kelly than it is about making him uh, be accountable for the crimes he's committed, if any. To me, these women are a disgrace, and they should be punished. I hope he does sue everybody, and is granted wealth so immense that he never has to do another show again, even though we know he will do another show, and he'll make 10 more albums before he dies, if not 20. But I am personally very happy about this, because I understand when women lie on you and how much of a dramatic effect it can have on your life. I've talked about this in a previous video that I had, and it's just the way that especially women that were raised in the 90s are acting is just ridiculous, because I'm more than sure that their older brothers, their uncles, their uncles, whoever you can think of, has done this back in those days. And a lot of the girls that are outraged right now dated older men themselves, and they themselves could be witness. I've actually come into contact with a few, but they themselves can be witness to the fact that they are very ready and willing to be in these type of situations. When I was younger, I couldn't. There were plenty of pretty girls on the street that I grew up on. Carlisa, Tiaja, Whitney. I mean, I remember so many of them, but I couldn't compete, and the boys in their age range couldn't compete with the grown men, drug dealers and stuff, driving around in Acuras and Lexuses that were attracting these young girls, and these young girls were in real relationships with these grown men. So, 9 o'clock at night, you sitting on the stoop with a cute girl that lives next door, and some guy in a dark ass Acura pulls up, doors open, and all you see is dashboard lights and stuff. How do you compete with that? So this is regular stuff that was happening all throughout the 90s, probably all throughout history, acting like it's like ridiculously something that's not normal, or something that's just unheard of. It's just ridiculous. It's unrealistic to me. Not saying it's right, but legally, if you're of the age of consent, which is 16 years old for the mass majority of the United States, let's stop acting like this is some kind of horrible, ridiculously satanic act. It's a joke watching people, men and women online, talk about it in such a manner, because it's legal as long as you're not dating or sleeping with somebody that's below the age of consent. What do we not get about that? It's like the men that are doing this are definitely trying to monetize the women that are, more realistically shocked by this. And the women are, that we can do a whole nother video for that, but I'm gonna leave that right there. So I just wanted to make an update video in closing for this R. Kelly chapter. Surviving R. Kelly is bullshit, folks. The whole thing is bullshit, and I'm so glad that we got to see it so close to the time that it happened, because usually it takes a lifetime for these type of revelations to come about. And I hope everybody that had anything to do with that show gets what's coming to them legally. And R. Kelly has already got a plan in motion for that. So I'm not a R. Kelly defender. I'm just a defender of truth, and I want him to be able to live his life if he didn't do anything wrong, just like anybody else would be able to. So, on that note, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. I'll talk to you in a few, and I'm out.